Starting something new sounds exciting until you actually try to do it. New project, new habit, new version of yourself. But nobody really talks about what happens 5 minutes after you start, when it suddenly feels uncomfortable, awkward, and a lot harder than you expected. And for a lot of people, that's where it quietly ends. Hey, I'm Dali, and this is my first video, which is honestly kind of ironic because this video is about how hard it is to start things, and yeah, this took way longer than expected. I wish I could say I just sat down, hit record, and everything flowed, but that's not what happened. I've been trying about making this video for a while, and actually doing it turned out to be the hardest part. I think most of us like the idea of starting. It feels like being productive, it feels like progress. You imagine how things could be different, but there is a gap between imagining something and actually doing it. And that gap is where most things die. Because the second you start, everything changes. It's no longer an idea, it's something real, and real things can be judged. They can fail, they cannot live up with what you imagine. And it's not always obvious fear either. It doesn't feel like panic. It feels like, well, I will start tomorrow, or I need to plan a bit more, or this isn't the right time yet. And those sound reasonable. That's why they work. With this video, for example, I kept doing the same exactly thing. I'd open my camera, my OBS, then close it. I'd write ideas, then scrap them. I'd imagine how I wanted it to sound and then feel like I couldn't match that. At one point, I even convinced myself that I needed a better setup first, better lighting, better microphone, better everything. But if I'm honest, that wasn't the problem. The real problem is this. When you start something new, you are immediately confronted with the fact that you are not good at it yet. And that's uncomfortable, especially if you care about doing it well. And it messes with your identity a bit, because in your head you might see yourself as someone who is capable, creative, and competent, but your first attempt doesn't reflect that, and that cap feels off. So, what most people do, they step back. Not dramatically, just enough to not feel that discomfort. And over time, that turns into not starting at all. At some point, I started looking at this differently. Instead of asking why is this so fucking hard, I started asking what exactly is making it hard. And the answer wasn't what I expected. It usually comes down to three things. You want it to be good, so you hesitate. You don't know how to make it good yet, so you overthink. You know other people might say it, so you hold back. And when you combine those three, starting stops feeling simple. It starts feeling very heavy. So when I started to do this video and this idea, I stopped trying to feel ready and focused on what actually helps you move anyway. First, make it smaller than your ambition. If your idea is too big, your brain resists it. So shrink it, not forever, just enough to begin. Second, expect the first version to be bad. No average, no okay, bad. And that's no failure, that's the starting point. Third, separate creating from judging. When you do both at the same time, you freeze. So create first, judge later. This video is the perfect example because it's actually me applying that. It's not perfect, I know that, but I stopped trying to fix every little thing and just focused on finishing it. And I think this applies to almost anything, starting a channel, going to the gym, learning something new, changing direction in your life. The beginning always feels easier than it looks from the outside. But the strange part is, it doesn't get easier when you think more about it. It gets easier because you get used to doing it. So, if there is one thing I'm starting to understand, it's this. You don't start because you're ready, you become ready because you started. So yeah, this is my first video. It's a bit awkward, it's not polished, but it exists. And a few days ago it didn't. If you're trying to start something, don't wait until it feels right. Just get one version done. That's enough for now. I'll see you in the next one.